Okay, what are we learning right now? What do you have, brother? This is heavy. Very. Didn't even know the let myself into
We
it.
also did more again with cars, but it might be good to just...
You learned this already?
Yeah, we learned that and reviewed
You didn't
the
finish
first part of
Ka'as
cars.
either from yesterday. Right?
What?
You didn't finish Ka'as from yesterday, right?
I know Kaz is a long Torah. So, okay, since Sister Tamar says we should learn more Kaz, okay. We should get more angry. I'm learning Ches. This is very heavy. And maybe this is one little reason to keep us away from anger. This is awesome. Mamash. You know, friends, when God wants to give us something, Mamash, 1 second before He gives it to us, He gives us just one little test. Meaning to say, God wants to give you something, a gift, but there is a little bit of an admission charge to get into it. The admission charge is that God gives you a little test. And if you go through it, you're on the level. This is awesome. Friends, I need you to open your hearts really in. It is so heavy that it's awesome. You know, everything which belongs to us is part of our soul, right? Little spark. Imagine, again, me and Dovis were going to a store to buy shirts. And suddenly, before I know it, Dovis was standing on this corner looking for shirts, and I'm on the other side looking for shirts. Why is that? Because there's a shirt which has a little spark of me waiting for me to buy it. So I'm going this way. Because those sparks have tremendous charisma, right? But Dovitul has a shirt on the left side. You know, everything which belongs to us has something with us, right? Not so simple, right? How does anybody know how to buy a dress even? Or even more so. Let's say, for instance, you're looking for a new house, right? Nobody can tell you which house to buy. You walk there and suddenly you feel, oh, this is where I belong, right? But you know what it is? That means when God wants to give you money, that means, well, you know something very special. But the Gemara, money is something which puts you on your feet. I have freedom to walk. I have freedom to move, right? You know, in a very sad place, a very sad way, the homeless people, they live on the street, you would say they are the most infinite people. They have the whole street, right? No, they have nothing. Right? I live in a house, I have a little bit together, I have the whole world.
Not so long. It's not eternal. It's a temporary structure.
I understand. I didn't mean physically, you know, but...
Burn down, and you can be a homeless person tomorrow.
Yeah, it's true. 100%.
You change people's lives from one day to the next.
Now you see, I didn't take it as an utmost true example, but I'm just going to put them in a framework to think about it, right? Between infinite and infinite. Listen, there's some people live in a house and they're the most creepy people, so it's not always. I know what you mean, darling, but that doesn't mean it's always. Anyway, money puts you together, right? What happens to you when you get angry? Then all the sparks want nothing to do with you. Remember we were learning yesterday, when you get angry, your soul runs away from you. Meaning to say, you know, whatever you have, at that moment you are angry, you are mamish poor, right? There's nothing left of you. So before God gives you some money, He tests you. Hey brother, can you keep it together? And one more thing, if I can get angry and I don't, then those sparks drawing. I mean, the charisma is awesome, right? So Rav Nachman says, let it be clear to you, at that moment when you want to get angry, at that moment we decided in heaven to give you some, I don't know how much, could be between 5 cents and 2 million. Rav Nachman doesn't say how much, right? But there is something to it, right? And if you are not getting angry, keep yourself together, right? Sparks come. If you get angry, then they're giving in to you. And this is so heartbreaking. We were learning it yesterday, cruelty. Cruelty destroys your soul, right? But sad enough, Satan is a little bit wild. Not only wants to destroy your heart and your soul with cruelty, mamish, he wants to take away your money economy. He wants mamish destroy you. Sad enough, there is a power in the world which wants to destroy you. You okay, Moshe Avram? You okay? Oh, good. How do you Moshe Avram? Is the yarmulke like this? You could be the biggest Rebbe in the world. Then Rav Nachman says something else. Imagine I have a very good name. People say, The moment they get angry, let's say in order to have a good name, you need 5,000 sparks together, right? But when I get angry, those sparks are running out. That means when I get angry, I'm ruining my good name. Which is so deep, I mean, can you imagine all those Rebbes, how hard they worked? I want you to know something. To be the master of anger is not a question of sitting here in your car and deciding. It's a lifetime. It's mamish a lifetime. A lifetime of really mamish wanting to purify ourselves from cruelty. Because anger is so cruel. Oh, it's so cruel, right? And it's not only cruel to the person you're yelling at, Gewalt, are you cruel to yourself? Right? So here Rav Nachman says, first of all, you lose what God wants to give you. You're also losing your good name. And also something, would you like to be friends with someone who is always angry? And you know what Rav Nachman says? When you are full of anger, even the people who love you, they may not tell you, trying to keep away from you. Right. I was sitting, not so long ago, someone was driving me. That means a woman was driving me and the 2 kids were sitting in the back. Nothing really was happening. I didn't want to say anything bad, but there's a red light and the car's cutting in, the car's cutting out, the way people react when they're driving with a bit dirty language. And something happened and this woman lets loose. And I looked in the mirror at the faces of the kids, I could see it like they want nothing to do with their mother. They want nothing to do with her. They were ashamed to be in the same car with her. So it is mamish anger. Awesome.
Behind anger, there is pain. That's what modern psychology tells us. It's
true.
not anger. If you don't hear the heart that's bleeding behind the anger, you are superficial.
Didn't
You're
you?
not deep.
Man and darling, you didn't hear what we were learning yesterday. I never said when you're angry at that moment you should control your anger. If you're angry, then tell them.
But your whole philosophy of what you said yesterday and today is very much from Rabbi Nachman. And I don't agree with Rabbi Nachman on many points.
Okay, ma'am, I tell you what, you have a right not to agree.
It's the pain. He doesn't hear the pain behind the anger. He doesn't hear where the anger is sourcing from.
Darling, you're 100% right. We are talking about 10 years before it happened. Remember learning it? We're not talking about that moment. Your whole framework in your head has to change. You're full of pain. You know what the world is? I'm full of pain because Moshe hurt my feelings. Then I meet Yankel and I get angry at Yankel. No.
It's a story of Cain and Abel. Cain is a very...
Darling, Marilyn, I love you, but right now people are learning about Nachman. And you know, what you're saying is very delicate because I'd say the Germans, never. There was so much pain behind it. No. Even if it's your pain, don't lose your God image. You have no right to yell at somebody and destroy them. And again, if you're in pain, why didn't you tell them I'm in pain? If they're your friend, tell them I'm in pain. Tell them what you need. You know what's so special in the Torah? I have to mention it again. When you're angry at someone, you have no right not to tell them. It says, don't hate someone in your heart. You know why? Because most of the time, when we're angry at someone, it was a mistake. It was just a complete misunderstanding. And you can walk around your whole life being angry, and then you find out it was just a mistake. Or, you know, most marriages go broke because they don't tell each other when they're angry at each other.
Communicate.
Sorry, what?
Communicate.
Yeah. But again, you know, you don't have to let loose and use a... Some people think when you're angry, you have to use a real vulgar language, then you vomit it out. You know, listen, if you want to vomit, you don't have to add to it, you know. Have you ever seen someone who wants to vomit and praying, God, give me more vomit, you know. I don't feel... Why don't you please let me vomit out 10,000 tons, you know. Leave something in your kishkis. Okay, what?
How do you get out from the bottom if you've gotten angry at someone and you've let it out?
Yeah.
And you've gotten down to the very bottom floor. How do you get back up to the 150th?
Okay, listen. It's a good question. Wait. When you're at the bottom floor, what's the first thing you're doing? You're looking for the elevator, right? First thing is, don't stay where you are. Imagine you yell at somebody and you vomit it out, right? And if you are strong enough to regret it, the first thing is walk up to the person and say, I swear to you that every word I said was a lie. Because I don't mean it, I was just angry. Because they also feel bad, right? And you don't know who feels worse, the one who's yelling or the one who's yelled at. See, Mama, both at the bottom, right? So take the elevator together. Remember, Rav Nachman says, when you're angry at somebody, at that time, that moment, you can fix their neshama and fix your neshama. Have a little taste what the purpose of life is all about. Because the purpose of life is not to yell at somebody. The purpose of life is to lift somebody up. And when I see the other person doing so much wrong, I say, listen, I lift you up, you lift me up. And I tell you something else. If you're angry at a person, you know, we're never angry at somebody we don't care for, right? We only are angry at somebody we love. So I say to this person, if you have the power to make me angry, maybe you have the power to lift me up also. Right? I told you the time, you don't step on somebody's toes unless you're very close, right? I cannot sit in Alaska and step on your toes, right? You see what it is? Promise me not to get into politics. Our biggest problems is Esav, who's the brother of Yitzchak, right? And the brother of Yaakov, Yishmael, because you have to be very close to be angry at each other. You know my Torah about anti-Semites. Gewalt, are they close to us? They think about us all the time, right? Gewalt, right? They think about us all the time. That means, in a certain deep way, they're very close to us, right? But what you have to do is turn it over. If I'm so important to you that you walk around thinking of me all the time, instead of thinking bad, think good, right? You see, those people who don't care about us, don't even know where Israel is, for them to be close to us, maybe Mashiach can do it, right? There's 2 more minutes here. This is Gewalt. First of all, Nachman says when you're angry you can't pray. You know, I'm yelling at my children, yelling at Moshe, I'm yelling at Yankel, then I say, I'm late, I got to go to shul to daven mincha. What kind of a mincha is this, right? I want you to know something. By all the big rabbis, when they were looking for a shliach tzibur, for a cantor, for a chazan, today the world is asking that you have voice training, you know, and are you wearing a tie, and are you on time? By rabbis, the most important thing was, are you always getting angry? If you're not a shliach tzibur, right? Because what am I asking God? Mamash, don't be angry at us, right? So how can a person who always yells and is angry tell God, don't be angry? God says, look at yourself. You know, I tell you my best, the cartoon I saw, a person has banana peels over his ears, 2 carrots sticking out of his nose, a poached egg on his head, and he walks into a therapist, he says, I came to talk to you about my brother. It's most of us, you know. Okay, one more thing, friends. Rav Nachman says when you're angry, you never finish anything. For some of us, come out. You know, we wonder, why don't we finish? We think to ourselves, why don't we have so many plans? Because our anger, in order to finish something, you have to be together. How much to be together? And I want you to know, this is the Torah which I hope all of us remember. There's a beginning and there's an end. The beginning of the world is that God created heaven and earth. The end is that Mashiach is coming and will redeem the world. Listen to this. Mama should make a vow. From now on, I'm beginning to learn, let's say, Masechtas Zvachim. I still hope that one day we'll learn Kodshim and Zolach together. And I'm quetching, I never finish it. You know why? Because I'm not connected enough to the spirit of Mashiach. I'm not connected to the end. Whatever I do and I finish it, this is mamash, a little revelation of Mashiach. You know, today, without saying anything bad, you see so many young people get engaged, krachzing, quetching, having excuses. So when are you getting married? Yeah, we want to get married in June 98. Why? Because we don't want to hurry, we don't want to just rush, right? In my shul, recently someone came, it's so cute. They know each other 20 years. He is 63 and she is, I don't know, 89 or maybe younger. So I said, you know, they were talking to me. I said, so when did you get married? 20 years hanging around? So he says, yeah, you know, we don't want to rush. Okay, listen, muzzle up. I want you to know something awesome. Without getting involved in politics. God gave us the land, the beginning, right? But He hasn't given it us yet completely. Still in the middle, right? Because this is what Mashiach is all about, right? We are waiting, we need it so badly, right? The real final giving. Mamash, right? So Rav Nachman says, what gives you the strength not to get angry? Not Bereshis Bo Elokim. Now listen to this very deep. When did anger begin in the world? Not before creation. After creation, after we made so many mistakes, the world is full of anger, right? And what do we need to fix the anger? Mashiach, right? So, being angry does not take away my power to begin. Even when I'm angry, I can begin. But I cannot finish it. I cannot redeem it, right? Well, we have so many unredeemed relationships. We have so many unredeemed, hanging in the world, right? And just remember, it's not a question of 5 minutes. It's a lifetime, right? Mamish, a lifetime.
This anger we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not just when a person is yelling. I think we're all walking
Inside.
around a little bit angry all the time.
Yeah. The world is full of anger. Nachman says, yeah. Sure, I can smile and be happy, and there's so much anger inside, right? And
What are the fixings we can do to help?
so the greatest fixing is to have compassion on yourself, right? It's easy for us to have compassion with others. And sometimes, because we're not talking about self-pity. Self-pity means I'm angry at everybody else who did me wrong. That's self-pity. And here we're talking Rachmanus, not, I'm putting the blame on other people. I have compassion. The biggest compassion is if you put the blame on yourself and stop doing it, right? Again, without being political. You know what Rav Kook says, remember? You have to be a rebbe to say such words. He says, redemption will come to Israel when instead of being angry at the whole world, we'll finally have enough guts to be angry at ourselves. That's the deepest, right? And you see, I don't want to say anything bad about Israel or about Jews or about anything. But unless we are angry at ourselves, sometimes we can't fix it. Mamish. Okay, now something very, very deep. I'll tell you something. I see somebody drowning in the ocean, and I'm running down to the ocean to get them out. On the way, somebody stops me and he says, I want you to know I'm disgusted with you. You are terrible. Do I stop to argue? Why not? Because I'm on my way to do something very important. I don't give a damn what you think. And if I am angry at somebody who insults me, it means I'm going nowhere, right? Because if I would mamish, I have to finish Masechtas Vochem, right? I have to be a servant of God. This is all I'm thinking about. Okay, so you don't like me, might as well, don't have time. Right? And you know what always makes us angry? The most stupid thing in the world. And if I have time for this kind of stupidity, that means you're not connected to something really where you're going. And also, you cannot daven. Because when you mamish full of anger, in the deepest depths you're angry at God, right? If someone says, I'm not angry at God, he's really lying, right? Won't you know the Ishbitzer says the deepest thing in the world? You know what it means to be a pure person? Someone who's not angry at God. Father said deep, right? Ishbitzer. Who asked? Who? Oh, Faye. Listen to this. You know there's two levels, Kedusha, holiness, and Tara, purity. So the Ishbitzer says purity means I'm not angry at God, although I don't understand what He's doing. Holy means that I have a little taste of what God is doing. But first you have to stop being angry. And then God shines into you. Says, you want me to know what God is doing is right. More than that, God gives you, takes you into His office and lets you know what's happening. Okay, now one more thing. Where is the headquarters? Shmuel Zagdun. Okay. Where is the headquarters for wiping out anger? Doesn't look like it's Washington. Could be Berlin, but I'm not sure, right? There's only the Holy Land, right? The Holy Land. And you know, friends, there is nowhere in the world where there is so much reason, too many reasons every second to be angry, right? I want you to know, Hashem, now there's already a little bit better by the Holy Wall. The first 2 or 3 years, it was not to be believed. Do you know that every 2 seconds another Yid called the police on another Yid? And I knew it was beyond there. It was not, in ordinary life they could Yidden. But it was, because there we have to wipe out evil, right? Listen to me, I'll tell you. I was disgusted. They walk into the hospital and they're all sick there. Disgusting, right? It's a hospital, right? Yerushalayim is the hospital for anger, right? And the Moshe takes all us creeps and angry people coming to Yerushalayim. And there is our chance. Mamish, right? To a four, right? Halavai, right? Now listen to this awesome Torah. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu go into Eretz Yisrael? Why did he want to go in so much? This one of Nachman, it's a Rebbe Torah. Do you know that Moshe Rabbeinu had the highest God revelation in the world? For the Mount Sinai, even whatever Israel can reveal, he had it all. He had all the fleshlight, all the psychedelic light. There's one thing he was missing: to wipe out anger. This is only when you walk the Holy Land. And there goes one step deeper. What's Israel all about? What's anger all about? Imagine when I get angry, when I really get angry, someone says, can you maybe wait with your anger 5 minutes? Then I'm okay, right? Then I'm still in control. Imagine I'm fuming, someone says, listen, wait 5 minutes. Doesn't go. I don't have time, right? Remember the Holy Walker? He said to himself like this: whenever I want to get angry, then I say to myself, I shouldn't get angry. Brother Satan comes to me and he says, you have to get angry because this time it's a mitzvah to get angry. So I say to myself, listen, if it's a mitzvah, let me put on my Streimel and my Shabbos stick kapotte. Let's make it Shabbos stick, right? So I go to my room, slowly, I take my Shabbos, take a kapote, my streimel, my gafel. And by then, it's such a good Torah, right? If you think it's such a mitzvah, chapnish, wait 2 minutes, right? Are you always running after mitzvah so heavily? I have seen you waiting with the mitzvah a long time, right? So you hear what it says. Anger is anger and no patience. I want you to know why God made us wait for Israel 2,000 years? Testing our patience. What's happening now? Again. I say, I don't have patience anymore. Chapnisht, you're learning, right? It's fixing. Now listen to this. Moshe Rabbeinu did not come into Israel because he got angry at the Yidden. And you know what God says to him? Heilige Zisa Moshe, you're not ready yet to fix your anger. You know what Moshe Rabbeinu is doing, Nebuch? He is sitting there outside Israel waiting for Mashiach. And it's already near the 3,500 years, right? Which is awesome, right? Yeah, what do you want to say?
I just want to ask, because Moshe Rabbeinu, right, we know that he masters his humility.
Yeah. You see, that's what I'm saying. If I would say it would be stupid, right? Stupid, it would be blasphemy. How can you say such words? Rabbi Nachman says, Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to come to Eretz to fix his erech apayim, which is patience and anger.
Was it from the story of hitting the rock?
Yeah. He hit the rock. So he yelled, he was angry. Once, right. Listen, Moshe Rabbeinu once, Avraham, you're going already?
It's also kind of connected to killing the mitzvah.
To whom?
Killing the mitzvah?
No, chas v'shalom, no. Because he didn't kill him with his hand. He just pronounced God's name.
No, it wasn't an anger then.
Chas v'shalom. He saved someone's life, so he's killing him. And it was not, if you remember, this Egyptian was not, this was not the first Jew he wanted to kill. And I want you to know, if you know the Medrash, Pharaoh didn't want to kill the Jews. Pharaoh wanted just to make them slaves. He was like Eichmann. He gave Pharaoh the idea of ultimate solution. Let's kill them. And he began systematically killing the slaves. So, and Moshe Rabbeinu didn't kill him with his hands, just pronounced God's name. Like a shmirah for Yidden. He disappeared. But thank you for asking. Chaim. Okay, now, just one more second, then I want to change the subject. Remember, we're learning that anger smells with paganism. Why does it smell with paganism? Why am I angry? Because things are not the way I want them, right? Since when are you the master? Right? I come in here to Yakar, I say to Dovid, what? What's going on here? Wednesday morning you're learning Rab Nachman? You're crazy? You're supposed to learn Gemara. Then I say, what? Mimi, what are you learning? More Naim. Say, what's going on there? Chutzpah, why do you learn Kedushas Levi? You know what they'll tell me? It's not your school. You're not the master yet. Cool it. I'm in this world, and I think I'm the master. You're not the master. You're not the master at all. That means each time I get angry, it smells from paganism. I think I'm the master. Listen, I have an appointment. Okay, we are two holy hippies, Avraham and I, we're always late, right, Baruch Shem? Imagine. Someone tells me, you hippies, you don't need a watch, you need a calendar. You will come a day later. Or a month later. But let's assume. Let's say Avraham says to me, okay, tomorrow, Wednesday, 12 o'clock, I'll be on Ben Yehuda. I'll put it in Mashbeer. So I'm also late. So I'm coming 4 in the afternoon, and Avram hasn't arrived yet. Sit there like a dog for 2 days, hasn't arrived. Finally, on the 4th day, he comes. And God forbid himself. What's going on? I'm yelling. You know what the problem is? I'm not his master.
Probably waited.
I waited, so he says, I'm sorry you waited, right? But I only yell when I'm the master. Why do parents yell at children? I'm your master. I buy you soup. I pay for your bed. What? I'm not my child's master. I have the greatest privilege in the world. Take care, mamash, of God's angels. Something else, right? What are you yelling at, right? I just have to tell you again, just for all of us, a lot of people today write books about child education. I'm sure it's good books, but the Rebbes, the real Rebbes, the way they treated their children, so much respect, so much courage, Okay, Eretz Yisrael is the headquarters for patience. And Moshe Rabbeinu, but you know what Rabbi Nachman says? Because Moshe Rabbeinu wanted so much to be connected to Eretz Yisrael, and therefore he's connected in the deepest way by making him wait. You know how connected you are to something when you're waiting for it? Kabbalah, right? I have a date, let's say with Sprinzele, and I'm standing on Ben Yehuda, and there must be waiting for Sprinzele. She comes, Mazel Tov. She doesn't come. Every second I'm waiting, where's my Sprinzele, right? So Moshe Rabbeinu, by waiting, is the deepest connection, right? And you see how deep this is. Moshe Rabbeinu says to God, I have to be in Eretz Yisrael to fix my patience. It's all good. Don't go. It's gewalt, right? Okay, let's learn a little bit about Rachmanis. Or anybody wants to make a little break for 5 minutes? Yeah, to breathe a little bit. Breathe in, breathe out. Get rid of all the anger, and then we learn about compassion. Time.
And watch. Nothing. It's one of those. What was that? Yeah, that was great. That was completely great.
No, von Sonntag an. Und ich wusste, dass du Joe, you can talk to her in German. Das ist die Königin der Wiener Juden. Yeah, you can get it by Holstein. Holstein Pizza Uri.
Here in where is the mesh area?
They ask me for Pizza Uri.
Well,
And then in Pizza Uber you ask where's the record shop?
do you really have this already?
CD 5, 6.
Is it digitally mastered?
I didn't even listen, I don't even have it.
And the States are available also?
Yeah. Pizza Uber. In Geula.
Whatever phone you want me to fill, I'll fill.
This is
for this past
Yeshua's
summer.
brother-in-law, my next door neighbor.
I give one,
Remember him? Just sign it. So when are you going to
Delegation, about 100 people. They're coming on Sunday the 8th. I mean, they're coming on Friday the 7th till the 10th. Shabbos is Casablanca. There'll be a Gval Shabbos. Till night, hopefully a concert. And then Sunday they have a conference on, I think, Arab and Jewish relationships.
So 3 days.
And then Monday night we meet the king.
And he's in charge of all of the...
Now you see the Minister of Tourism in Morocco is the Yid.
Yes.
And he's organizing the whole thing.
I didn't play in front of the king.
No, the king is not coming. But the outside people will be there. Maybe his rabbits in the domestic house. Maybe his laundryman, I don't know.
When he's writing for Avi. Dedication for Avi. Your brother-in-law. You know, we get together Friday night because we're right next to each other.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Wonderful night. One of the real gifts of being in a soul, very next to them.
How's Brother Amon doing? Okay.
Good.
The best. Really.
Are you spending too much time?
Did Lucy leave a message to me?
The message, and I called him again before I came, so I'll call you.
You did?
I didn't leave a message yet. I know, but I'll call you. I'm just supposed to give you the message that the reason why Yeshua is not learning is because he's watching now, but he'll come tonight.
I spoke to you.
You talked to him. This morning you talked to him?
Yeah.
All right, because you must have talked to him when I was on the way here. Okay.
So how do I get a hold of this guy?
Where's my plate? He is the cutest brother in the whole world. And I never lie after 12. You ever seen it? He's a cute guy.
He sat there and listened to all the teachings.
What do you mean? Every day of his life he uses the computer with transcribe together.
Really, what a good thing.
What is it, transcribed?
Shlomo thing. Well, you think Shlomo all the time. No, you think he's doing it, but he just sits next to me.
Really?
His name for Shlomo is really tired.
Okay.